Fake money, fake teachers, fake assets. You can't have fake money without fake teachers, and you can't have fake assets without fake money and fake teachers. And so when you read Fake, there's in 3 parts. They all follow on, and by the end of it, you're going, oh my God, I can see better.
This is The Fighting Entrepreneur, the podcast dedicated to entrepreneurs looking to change the world. Learn how to start, build, and scale a business in today's highly competitive business environment. Here's your host, The Fighting Entrepreneur, Anik Singal.
What's up, you crazy fighting entrepreneurs? I am so excited. Do you see who's sitting next to me? This man is Robert Kiyosaki. Every time, I actually get nervous, Robert, every time I am in front of you. I don't know why. I think we filmed so much. Listen, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start the introduction. I'm so excited to be here. I flew down to Phoenix, and Robert's really graced our community with some time here. We're going to talk about his new book, Fake. So I like to say I'm doing a fake interview here. But before we can move into this, and I'll tell you right now, you've got to listen because there are some major things happening around us in the economy and in the world, and if you don't learn them, you are in for a shocker. Robert, I just want to say that, I take every opportunity I can publicly to acknowledge you changed my life sophomore year of high school. First book I actually read. First book. Now, they make you read books in school. I would never read any of them, and I would just write a book report, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I remember sitting down thinking, this is it. This is the feeling I've been having, changed my life. Today, Robert, thanks to what I was able to do, a 1.6 million community of entrepreneurs.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. But that comes back to you, right? Because none of that would exist if you hadn't provided the knowledge. I don't know if you really need it. 32 million books sold of just one of your books. You've changed the world. You've fundamentally changed the way people think, the world. And for that, thank you. And then you're still here, you're still working hard. It's like you've not done enough yet. You still want more people to learn, and you're taking time away with me right now so we can teach, again, more entrepreneurs about what's happening. And so to honor that, I have to start by first really giving you this. So everyone who's watching right now, here, this is our first ever commemorative fighting entrepreneur gloves. So Robert, you get the first ones ever made. They were trying to give me the first ones, and I said, nope, the first ones belong to Robert Kiyosaki. So we're really excited here. Thank you again for everything you do for the community.
These are boxing gloves?
These are boxing gloves because it's called Fighting Entrepreneur. And
wow. Thank you.
Yeah,
you Lurn, L-U-R-N?
Yep, that's our company, and that's our Fighting Entrepreneur logo. So first ones ever. I'm so excited to be able to present this on video. Listen, if you're listening to this and you want to see the video, you got to go to YouTube. Check it out. Robert's holding up the gloves right there. I'll take
and Learn. Well, thank you very much. I'm honored.
Thank you, of course, Robert.
Stuff here.
So Robert, let's dive right in because I'm excited.
Why did you have to call it the Fighting Entrepreneur?
It's been a term that was used to describe me like years ago,
yeah.
And I just fell in love with it. It was just, an entrepreneur that won't give up, an entrepreneur that faces obstacles, challenges, and keeps moving forward. It meant a lot to me. So when we started our series where we interview amazing experts like yourself and teach, we meet fighting entrepreneurs that never give up, and that's why we call it the Fighting Entrepreneur.
Well, that's a very accurate metaphor.
Thank you.
But if you're not a fighter, you shouldn't be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, absolutely. You've done so much, right? And it's all about financial education. And I believe that entrepreneurs need financial education probably more than many of the people in the world. Now, you keep going, and you wrote this amazing book, which you've said finally describes and explains once and for all why the system of money and just the system of wealth is rigged against us. Tell me more about this book. What was the real, why still work this hard? Why still write this amazing book?
Well, it's because this book here, Fake, is, let's say, graduate school, and Rich Dad, Poor Dad was elementary school. So this book actually, what I write about in here is why I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's the economics or what's going on economically in the world today that inspired me to write Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So this book's a little bit more complex, a little bit more in detail, a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But it's
very detailed.
is just for more advanced people who want to know what's going on. But most importantly, you understand what's going on, but how to prepare for what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And part of being a fighting entrepreneur is not to be a stupid entrepreneur. And like I always talk about money and investing and business and all this. And you look at most people, you know why they lose money? It's because they sit around and do nothing. Then all of a sudden they have this boom, like Bitcoin or real estate or network marketing, and they all get in at the top, and the market crashes on them. So in 2005 and 6, I was telling people get out of real estate, but you're in real estate. Yeah, but I'm saying just don't get in now. So naturally, when the real estate bubble was the highest, 2005, 6, and 7, all these idiots jump in. Yeah. And then they get their butt handed to them on the way down. So I just don't understand people. If they study that, then they get upset when they lose everything. And one last piece on this whole thing is when it's up this high, you shouldn't be in it. But all the losers get in. Yeah. And the time they get in is when it crashes, because that's when you make your money. So I made I just love booms and busts. So the reason people want to read fake is they want to get prepared for the next bust, and the bust is around the corner. It's coming.
All right, so this chart here, now we're going to put it up on the screen too, and it's also on our show notes at onicpodcast.com. This scares me, Robert. I mean, I've seen it before, but when you talked about it on a recent video, it just petrified me. When you talk about booms and busts,
right,
and the size of them, I'm just going to let you do it because
look at this. This is the giant crash of 1929. This was the Great Depression here. It lasted 25 years. 25 years. Yeah. So you look at what's happening today, it's even higher today. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you this, will the next crash be bigger than this or smaller than this? So the crash that's coming is going to be massive.
Well,
so that's why I wrote fake, because when that baby comes down, you're going to say, God, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah. I love this. I'm going to be rich. But most people will say, oh, I got ripped off. Nobody told me about it, Yeah. But I'm telling you right now, it's coming.
Yeah, and you have to look at this chart. If you're, again, visually, go get it on onicpodcast.com. But look how small this is. That's the part where you said, this was this tiny, created 25 years of crash.
Yeah, it went from 1929 to 1954 was a depression.
Look where we are right now, like how big we've already had. And then you mentioned also 10-year cycles, right? 10-year cycles.
Well,
and
there's always booms and busts. But that's why I wrote fake. You look at what's coming. Yeah. So if you guys want to sit here and say, oh, things are really, really good, and they are pretty good right now. Everybody's saying, well, President Trump did a great job, and or Obama says he did a great job. They all claim to do a great job. But the economy is pretty good right now. But the bust is coming. It's coming. So that's why I wrote fake.
So, it's amazing because when times are good, no one wants to accept that they could be bad and that something bad is coming. And it's as soon as the bad time comes, you look back and think, oh my God, I should have seen that coming. You've been predicting these for years. You've literally been, before everything, you've said, this is what's happening. And right now, you're also saying it's coming. There's a crash coming.
In fake, I have a place you can go to with me on CNN in 2008 saying Lehman Brothers was going down. And when I was on CNN saying Lehman Brothers was going down, Wolf Blitzer, the commentator, says, you don't know what you're talking about. And 6 months later, Lehman Brothers is gone. Wow. And for some people, it was the worst thing that ever happened to them. But for myself and my friends, we made fortunes.
That's so amazing. All right, so what we're going to do now, this book right here, it says fake money, fake teachers, fake assets. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right into our first round. And in the first round, I'm going to ask Robert, what's fake money? Okay, so round number one, Robert, fake money, fake teachers, fake assets. You obviously are very specific. Let's talk about fake money. What's fake money?
Well, they're all related. Fake money, fake teachers, fake assets. You can't have fake money without fake teachers. Okay. And you can't have fake assets without fake money and fake teachers. And so when you read fake, there's in three parts. And they all follow on. And by the end of it, you're going, oh my God, I can see better. You see, look, when people say, how can you say teachers are fake? All I'm saying is, what does school ever teach us about money? Answer is nothing. Well, why is that? Well, it's not a mistake. See, the teachers are not supposed to teach you anything. That's why you and I hated school so much. If they had a subject that I was interested in, I did well in it. But when I'm studying a subject I know I'd never use, like I went through 3 years of calculus. I've never used day one of calculus, but I sat there sweating bullets for like 4 years studying 3 years of calculus. And I kept asking my teacher, I said, when am I going to use this stuff? And he couldn't answer me. That's not a mistake. That's why they're fake teachers. But what happened in fake money, fake starts in 1972. I was a Marine pilot flying behind enemy lines. I was flying in Vietnam. And my rich dad sent me a letter saying, hey, watch out, President Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. So this is in 1972. It was around February 1972. And Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard 6 months earlier, in August of 1971. And I'm going, what does that mean? What is the gold standard? Nobody taught me that in school. It didn't have a subject that said gold standard.
Yeah.
We have calculus, but no gold standard. And then he says, watch out, things are going to change. I'm going, what does gold standard mean? What is gold, and why is it going to change? So this is in 1972. So I take the book Fake, starts with a really funny story, proving Marines aren't the brightest guys on earth. My co-pilot and I flew behind enemy lines to look for gold. But we didn't know what gold looked like. Can you imagine that? I didn't know what gold, there's gold watches and gold chains, but who knows what gold looks like? So he and I are flying, we go behind enemy lines, enemy all around us, and we're trying to buy gold. And then I found out it was illegal in 1972 for Americans to own gold. So the woman I'm trying to buy the gold from, she says, a little Vietnamese woman, she goes, you're not supposed to be buying this stuff. I'm going, why can't? She says, you'll go to jail if you own gold. So all of this was, my education had begun. That's why it's fake money, fake teachers, fake assets. I said, if gold has been gold, thousands of years, I call gold and silver God's money. Gold and silver have been here since the earth was formed. It'll be here when we're all gone. Why was it illegal for me to own it? Why was I trying to be a criminal buying this gold from a woman behind enemy lines? So that's how fake starts, and that's my education. So it was a continuation of my rich dad teaching me about money, where my poor dad, a school teacher, knows nothing.
Is it still illegal to own gold?
No, it changed in 1974.
So when
said, wasn't that strange?
It is strange. So did it become illegal in 1971 when Nixon pulled it off?
I believe it was 1933.
Oh wow, okay. So
it's all of these, the government tries to control the money. That's why it's fake money. So what happened in 781, the US dollar became fake money.
So why did it do
It's
that?
fake because they could print it. They could print and print. So every time the government, or any government in the world, Japan, China, Europe, Mexico, if they get in trouble, they print it. Now, if you and I did that, we go to jail.
Yes.
It's called counterfeiting money, you know what I mean? So, but why do they do that? And that's where my education was a continuation of my rich dad talking to me.
So before 1971, the dollar is tied to gold, so that means they can't just do whatever they want and print whatever they want. And so that's why they disconnect it. Until this day, it's disconnected. It's not tied. Now, are other countries' currencies tied to gold still, or?
None.
None. All have moved away from that.
Well, that's why Fake is such an important book for people to read, because you read my stuff over the years. I'm almost talking about this August 15th, 1971, the day the world changed. Up until August 15th, the US dollar was as good as gold. So what that meant is all the central bank of Japan and Mexico and Europe and all this, they had to store US dollars, not gold. So the French got really angry at us, saying, you guys have this ungodly advantage in the world, being the reserve currency of the world, because you're good as gold. So Nixon, because the US was going broke, couldn't pay his bills, he started to print it. And that's why it's called fake money, fake teachers, fake assets. Because after that, it was taken out of the school system. By 1974 or 75, the business schools of America stopped teaching gold. And they started saying gold was a barbaric relic of the past. So they had to get the school teachers to teach the young people that gold was bad, you shouldn't touch it, so they could print it. And then they can get all of us into these fake assets, and fake assets are stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, and savings. Anything you can print is fake. Think
Wow.
about it that way.
Yeah. All right. I have so many questions. We're going to abandon the whole round by round strategy. I'm just going to spitball now because I have so many questions. So it's fake. So the dollars in my wallet are fake.
Look at the chart again.
Yep. Let's bring this back up.
Okay, so when you look at this now that you know this is 29,
Yeah.
this was 54, this was 71. And the moment they could start to print, you see this here. And it put the world economy into this big bubble. So these are happy. You know, this is when I was a kid. I entered school, I went to the world just about here. It was so easy for my generation to get rich. Baby boomers,
Yeah.
you could do no wrong. Everything you touched turned to gold. It went up and up and up. And then came the dot-com crash. And then the reason is because in 1971, the dollar became debt. You see, this is kind of hard to explain, but for debt to exist, taxes had to exist. So in 1971, the dollar became debt, but the only way you could hold it as debt as long as the taxpayers wanted to pay for it. So they screw the poor and middle class. That's why in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you know, if you read the book, it was written around here, so the rich don't work for money. Because if you work for money, you're going to be taxed.
Yeah.
But our schools will never tell you that.
Yeah.
So what happened is the moment they could tax you, and it started to crash, and they, instead of fixing the system, when it crashed here, they printed more. It got up here, it crashed. This is 2007. It crashed again, and they printed more.
And they're doing it again. The same.
They print it, they print it, they print it, and they're still printing.
Yeah. Because you.
So what's going to happen?
Oh, it's going to crash.
Yeah.
So you've said this before, and this is what caught my. I watched a movie about it too, and I heard you on a video. The mistakes that led to the real estate collapse, they're doing it again. You said.
Yeah, just printing money.
It's as simple as that. Just printing money.
In 71, when Nixon could not pay the bills, he took the dollar off the gold standard, and they could print money.
So how bad is it right now that even though they have the ability, our government has the ability to print money, we're still 22 trillion in debt? It's confusing. Like, I feel like if they're going to print money, at least don't have 22 trillion in debt. But we have that, and we're printing money like crazy.
It's worse than you know.
Okay.
Think about it this way, okay? Let's say you're Mr. Homemaker, you have a wife and 2 kids, and you're making $50,000 a year. But you can't pay the bills, so you take out a credit card. And then you can't pay for your credit card. So then you take a home equity loan out. And then you do something else goofy. So what the U.S. is doing today, this is 2019, is they're printing money to pay the interest on that debt.
Wow.
Well, if that doesn't, so that's like you can't buy food. So you go out and you buy food on a credit card. Then tomorrow you go out and buy more food on a credit card. Eventually they're going to say, well, this has got to end. You don't have to go to college. You don't have to go to Harvard. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know. You just can't keep using that credit card. And that's what the governments of the world are doing. Japan now is at below 0 interest rates. Below zero, sub-zero interest rates means they want you to borrow money. So they're saying to all the Japanese, and Japanese they're smart people, but they're not bright when it comes to money. I'm Japanese, I can say that. The Japanese are the biggest savers. Think about that. Why would you save money when they're printing money? Oh, my daddy told me to save money, so I'm going to save money. Hey, all you Japanese guys, wake up. Your daddy's broke. Your government's broke.
You're saving you're saving a fake thing.
You're saving debt.
Yeah, you're saving debt.
And the government can't pay for it.
So what should we be doing right now? Like, okay, I've got money. Robert, and I'm getting a little petrified right now. So gold and silver, going back to real.
No, it's always education.
Okay.
There's a lot to learn in fake.
Okay.
It's a little bit more sophisticated. But in the first section on fake money, that's why I say I was in Vietnam buying gold. So I couldn't buy it because the woman wouldn't sell it to me at a discount. She's a little tiny Vietnamese woman. Yeah. She's laughing at me. I said, I want to buy it for 40. She goes, no, 50. I'm going, no, it's got to be 40. No, 50. I can buy it for 50. She's like arguing. So I finally realized she knew more than me. I mean, she probably didn't go to Harvard or Yale, but she's a little Vietnamese woman in some little village way out in the middle of Vietnam with nobody's out there. But she knew more about money than me. Wow. So anyway, when that happened and I realized I better start getting educated, so our aircraft carrier sailed into Hong Kong. And that's when I went looking for gold. And I found a Krugerrand, South African Krugerrand. And it cost me about 45 bucks, I think. So this is 72. That Krugerrand today is worth $1,400.
Wow.
So let me ask you this. Did the Krugerrand get really big? I mean, did it get $1,400 big? Yeah. Or did the US dollars get smaller? Yeah. And so that's why if you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I was savers are losers. Why would you save money? And the Japanese, all saving money, which is silly. Japanese will call it dame. Dame means stupid.
Okay, so let's, wow, it's amazing. I'm so glad you wrote this book, and I'm so glad, by the way, as a service to every one of us, that you're still out here talking about this stuff, because every time I listen to you, I learn more. And it's like I've listened to you now for 15 years, and yet still every time I listen to you, I learn more. So let's go to round two. Let's talk about fake teachers. We're all very fond of our teachers, and you say it too. Well,
I only had 3 good teachers, and I forgot the third one.
Well, so, people will immediately think like, oh, but, teachers are good people. And you talk about it. There's a difference between being a good person and being good for you, or just being what you need right now. What's the problem in our educational system? Is it actually a conspiracy? Is it being done from the top? Is it specifically to build the employee class so that the rich keep getting richer?
In my research, I believe it is in 1903 or 04, the Rockefellers, Mellons, J.P. Morgan, and those guys took over the U.S. education system. They created the General Education Board, so the rich decided what they could teach the kids.
Wow. This is fact. This isn't just theory. This is what they did.
But also what happened after Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, our business schools stopped teaching gold.
Wow.
So there is this, hate to use the word conspiracy, but that's why fake money, fake teachers, and fake assets are the same subject. Yeah. Because they're all related. Because I don't save money. I don't work for money. I use debt. I don't work for money, because you work for money, you pay taxes. Remember this, when the dollar became debt, the government had to collect taxes to pay the debt, because the debt came from the U.S. Treasury. The only people that are going to pay for that treasury, that debt, is the taxpayer.
It's the taxpayers.
So all right. Go to school, get a job, and pay taxes. Not very smart.
So it was set up so that we can do exactly that, which is why I love what we do here at Learn, because we're training people to be an entrepreneur. But even then, right, it's the
you
quadrants.
You got no taxes. You look at the quadrant here, cash flow, ESBI. Yeah. Small entrepreneurs pay the highest taxes.
They pay the highest taxes, right.
They pay 60% in taxes. Yeah.
So you still have to keep, so working for your money.
So if you started your own business and you don't have another escape route, it's really, you're more silly than the Japanese. Mm. Because why take all the risk of an entrepreneur and pay higher taxes? Yeah. It's stupid. Dame, as the Japanese would say.
So I now I do have some questions. We talked about fake money, fake teachers, fake assets. You got into a little bit. Listen, Fake the book, go grab it right now. The links will be at onicpodcast.com. You can grab them in the show notes. If you're watching on YouTube, the links are right below. Or you know what? It's not that hard of a name to remember. Go type it in, grab this book. It's so powerful. And then do yourself a favor. Grab every single book that this man has written, like all of them, and binge read every single thing.
And you'll see I've been saying kind of the same things all the way through.
Yes.
But this subject is more, this one goes more in depth.
Yeah. No, absolutely without fail. Robert, I've got some final questions that I wanted to ask you that are a little bit more entrepreneurial driven. And that is...
May I show you one more thing?
Please, of course, yes.
Okay, show that chart one more time.
All right.
So let's go one more time. So here we go. Giant crash. This is when gold became illegal, 1933 in this area.
All right.
They didn't want you to own gold. So 71, they take us off the gold standard, and they start printing. So do you have to go to Harvard or be a rocket scientist to know what's going to happen?
No.
So let me show you what's going to happen here. So I just happen to have, I call this bubble economics.
Okay.
Or balloon economics.
He's
So
got
here
a
we have-
balloon, all right.
So what happened in 1971 when you wanted to, U.S. government wanted to pay its bills, or any government for that matter, they go like this. Almost came all the way down. So what did they do? Okay. (2008). So what did they do after 2008?
Just did it right again. For those of you listening right now, he's basically showing through a balloon what's happening in our economy.
But let me ask you this. Do you have to go to Harvard to know what's going to happen?
Not at all. Everyone listening and watching knows what's happening.
So it blew the stock market into a bubble, blew real estate into a bubble. Look at education. Education is so expensive today.
So expensive.
It's ripping everybody off.
Yeah.
How about health care?
Yeah.
But the government says there's no inflation. So they lied to you again. Because what they have to do, and then you have Social Security coming up for the old guys like me. Our pensions are bankrupt in America. The teachers, the firefighters, and police officers, their pensions are empty because Wall Street robbed them with fake assets. So they, So real estate gets more expensive, stock prices get more expensive, pharmaceuticals get more expensive, education gets more expensive, and they keep doing this.
Keep building it up.
So what's going to happen?
It's gonna. Absolutely, 100%. I don't know what to say. You know, my first question that was like entrepreneur related. I'm just kind of laughing because it was, is the market going to crash? This literally says right here, is the market going to crash again?
It's going to explode.
Yeah, please don't even answer that. You just did. Wow. Listen, it's happening. So as entrepreneurs, you need to wise up.
Just look at that chart and they can ask themselves, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
If they print more money, what's going to happen? You don't have to go to Harvard to come up. You don't need a teacher to tell you that.
No, just only one way. It's only one way. And really, so with all of this, Robert, we've talked in the past about becoming an online entrepreneur, using the internet to become an entrepreneur.
It's just very smart.
Is it still is this a good time still to become an entrepreneur using the internet? Is it still something that
That depends upon the individual. Look, if you're an idiot in real estate, you're still an idiot. And if you're an idiot in dog care, you're still an idiot.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be an entrepreneur, online is one way, but you're still an idiot.
Right.
If you're not good at it. So what I say to people is this: it's not how much money you make, which I cover in Fake, it's what you do with the money. Mm-hmm. See, in Fake, I write about, same thing I wrote about in Rich Dad, is that I follow the McDonald's system of business. McDonald's is not in the hamburger business. McDonald's is in the real estate business. Mm-hmm. So that's how McDonald's, you can buy a McDonald's. You can buy the most expensive real estate in any city in the world is a McDonald's franchise because they produce so much money.
Yeah.
So a McDonald's business buys the real estate. This building here, my company, we're buying real estate. Yeah. And we buy gold and silver. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We are entrepreneurs because we're investors, not because we're entrepreneurs.
It's brilliant.
Because I want to generate as much money as possible to invest. So the average guy says, oh, I'm making $100,000 a year, but I don't make enough money. Well, the reason is because you're paying taxes.
Yeah.
If you get a job, you'll pay taxes because debt and taxes is how the dollar becomes money. It's so screwy.
Yeah, it really is. And so that's a really, I want to leave on that thought. That's like a great closing thought for all of our entrepreneurs that are watching right now. don't become an entrepreneur
just to make money.
Yes.
Because it's fake money.
Exactly.
And they're fake assets.
Yes.
And you got fake teachers. Some of the biggest fake teachers are your financial planners. Oh yeah, let me tell you what to do with your money. Give it to me.
Yeah.
So you take your hard-earned money, you give it to, you don't get any tax breaks on it, you get nothing.
Why do they call them brokers?
Because they're broker than you are.
Because they're broker than
And
you
they're
are.
not bad people. Well, they're not bad. No, they're not bad. Are school teachers bad people? I would say 80%. No, maybe 40. No, 60% are good people. Most of them just want a paycheck.
Yeah.
Most school teachers want two things: paychecks and pensions. That's it.
Yeah.
They're not there to teach.
So there you go. Don't do it for the money. Do it so that you can learn to get into that I quadrant, become an investor. It's what you do with the money you make. It's not how much you make. I love that. And that is what a powerful quote.
I'm an entrepreneur to invest my money.
Yeah, love it.
And I don't want Wall Street to touch it.
We got to write that down. You have to write that down where you
Wall
can see it
Street
every day.
sends you fake assets.
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch a stock. I don't, but maybe you should,
Yeah.
I don't touch mutual funds. I don't touch ETFs. You know why? Because it only makes them rich.
Yeah.
If you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, it says your house is not an asset. Why?
Because you're.
Because for 30 years when you owned that house, you're sending money to the bank,
Yeah.
right? So when you have a 401k or a retirement plan and all this, and let's say you start at 20 and you're going to retire at 65, 45 years. For 45 years, you're going to send that money to buy stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, and savings.
Yeah.
Dummy. Stupid.
Yeah.
I want my assets putting money in my pocket. So when I buy a house, it's got to put money in my pocket.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy a house that takes money from my pocket. So when I invest, so I want my assets to put money in my pocket. Most people's retirement plans aren't assets, they're liabilities.
Wow.
Because they're sucking cash out of that person's pocket for 45 years.
Ah. Whew. All right. Well, with that, I think you have a lot to think about. Got to learn to get into that I quadrant. Robert, thank you so much. It has been absolutely amazing. Get yourself, read this book, read Fake. Do it now.
Or
Do
just
yourself
wake
a favor.
up. Wake up.
Wake up. Yeah.
I wouldn't listen. Be careful who you listen to, including me. Don't just save money and pay taxes. That's really stupid.
Yeah. Amazing. All right, Fighting Entrepreneurs, you can head over to anikpodcast.com for all the show notes and to leave us a great review. And if you're watching this on YouTube, come on, you got to share some love with Robert. He's been so gracious to share. So go below right now, leave a comment, click subscribe, click the little thumbs up icon. We will talk to you soon. Again, as I always say, when life pushes you, what do? Stand straight, smile, and push it the heck back. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to The Fighting Entrepreneur with your host, Anik Singal.